Hey friends, today I'm going to read a book I really like called Beyond the Pond by Joseph Kuefler. He's the author and the illustrator, so he wrote the story and he made the pictures. Maybe you've noticed that I always say I'm going to read you a book I really like because I really like a lot of books. So do you see the cover? It's kind of, the reflection's bad. There they are. They're looking at their reflections in the pond. Beyond the Pond. Just behind an ordinary house filled with too little fun, Ernest D. had decided today would be the day that he'd explore the depths of the pond. There he is. Now you can see better. So he'd tried sticking a stick and dipping a hook and sinking a stone, but nothing touched. My pond has no bottom, said Ernest D. So he wants to know how deep the pond is. Looks like it might be pretty deep. My pond goes on forever. I've always wanted to explore a pond with no bottom. Oh, how exceptional! He looks pretty excited about that. So Ernest D. gathered his explorer supplies, stretched 3 times, and prepared to set off. I hope they allow dogs down there, he said. Look at all the stuff he has. And with that, Ernest D. dove down between the fishes and the frogs, past the squid and the sharks and the shapeless things, into his pond forever deep. Now, do you think this is happening? Do you think he's dreaming? Or do you think anything can happen in stories? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I wonder how the dog can breathe under the water. He dove into lightless stretches and through the sunken treasures. I think someone forgot to turn on the lights in this part of the pond, he said. It gets pretty dark under the water. And look at that ship. Do you think a ship that big could really fit in his pond? Ernest D. dove farther into his pond than anyone had ever gone before, until at last he came up on the other side. I wonder where he's coming up. The other side of his pond was big and raucous. Look, he's nowhere near his house. And what do you see in the background over there? Dinosaurs. I wonder where he is. It was whoops, did I skip a page? Nope. It was so tiny, so tall, and every shape in between. Look, it's a little mini unicorn with a mouse. That's cool. And more dinosaurs. Seems like maybe he's in the land of make-believe. Maybe he's in the land of his dreams. We don't know yet. Best of all, it was just for him. But this new place was other things too. Look, he's riding on the back of an eagle. And look, the dog's being held by his talons. I don't know if that would feel very good. It was ghoulish and ghastly. Look at that spider. Look how big he is compared to them. And look, is that a shadow of something kind of creepy? It was all things unimaginable. Look, what is that? It looks like a big hand with some claws. But Ernest D. was the bravest of explorers. He battled and brawled until the moon ducked low. Look at that giant foot. And in the moment between moonset and sunrise, Ernest D. looked upon the endless of his newly discovered land. All this was hiding in a pond, said Ernest D. How exceptional. And look, there's a koala. So he returned to his pond, stretched 3 times, and dove back into the lightless caverns and through sunken treasures, past the squid and sharks and shapeless things, out of his pond and back into the world. But the world wasn't quite as he'd left it. His house seemed a little less small, and his town looked a little less ordinary. Beyond every street and silent corner was a place unexplored. Exceptional, said Ernest D. Look what the dog's looking at. The spider, but this time he's not so big. And that's the end. And here's a picture of his town. And here's a picture of the author illustrator. I always like to know what they look like. Let me see if we can see it better. There you go. Let's see what it says about him. It says that he lives in St. Paul, Minnesota, and this is the first book he ever made. You know what I like about this book? I like it because it gets you to use your imagination to realize that no matter where you go, whether you're on the playground or taking a walk in your neighborhood or on a trip, there's always things to explore and always new things to find. Tell me if you like the book and tell me where your favorite place to explore is. So when I was a little girl, we had a creek in our neighborhood and we liked to go down and hang out by the creek and play and look at the turtles and look at the cows that lived on the other side. That's what we like to do. Anyway, happy reading, friends.